Have you ever crossed paths with someone and for a fleeting instant, the very fabric of your reality seemed to shift? The relentless clamor of the world receded, the chaotic currents of daily life stilled, leaving behind a profound and unexplainable gravitational pull, like an ancient cord connecting two souls across the expanse of existence. It wasn't merely chemistry, it wasn't a fortunate happenstance, it was something infinitely grander, something cosmically orchestrated. Carl Jung, the visionary architect of analytical psychology, illuminated this extraordinary phenomenon with the term synchronicity. He described it as a meaningful convergence of the inner and outer worlds, a moment so precisely aligned, so profoundly resonant that it beckons your deepest attention. It's a cosmic declaration. This is not a mere coincidence, because at times the individuals who step into our lives transcend their ordinary roles. They are not simply companions, they are reflections, they are bearers of vital messages, they are even sacred guides dispatched by the universe itself. They don't arrive by chance, they manifest through an intricate, divine design. And when the universe truly intends for you to encounter someone, it communicates through subtle whispers in your dreams, it echoes through persistent, repeated signs, and it gently, yet undeniably, nudges your soul with an intrinsic knowing. In this exploration, we venture beyond the conventional notions of love or superficial attraction. We delve into the realm of soul-level connections, the kind that jar you awake, the kind that irrevocably alter the trajectory of your life's journey. So, if you have ever felt that someone mattered too much, too swiftly, or too profoundly, remain with me. This is the profound message your soul has patiently awaited. Have you ever keenly observed that when something of truly paramount significance is poised to unfold in your life, the cosmos refrains from shouting it into your ears? Instead, it whispers. The most impactful thresholds of your existence rarely erupt with the force of thunder. They arrive with the gentle cadence of soft rain tapping on your window pane, while the rest of the world remains in slumber. This is precisely how the universe introduces you to an individual destined to reverberate through the very core of your being, not with jarring noise, but with an enveloping silence. The very first indicator is never theatrical. There are no cascading fireworks, no soaring violins in the background, not even a flurry of butterflies in your stomach. It is something far deeper, infinitely quieter. It is a profound stillness, a singular moment of pervasive calm where every other element in your world gracefully recedes. Your mind ceases its frantic race, your deep-seated insecurities fall silent, and in that hallowed moment, something within you simply knows. You encounter them, and the connection isn't predicated on their physical appearance or the words they articulate. It's about the very essence of their energy. It feels uncannily familiar, as if you've encountered them before, despite the fact you haven't. It's as though your soul has been patiently anticipating, meticulously preparing, and fervently hoping for this exact presence. This isn't fanciful delusion, this is impeccable alignment. Carl Jung, the luminary founder of analytical psychology, once articulated a profound truth. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. He posited that when your inner world is truly harmonized, your deepest fears meticulously understood, your hidden wounds gently acknowledged, your authentic truth wholeheartedly embraced, the external world inherently responds. It becomes a mirroring reflection. It impeccably matches your internal state. And when that exquisite resonance occurs, the universe finds no need to shout. It requires no forceful push or pull, because your soul is finally ready and the appropriate individual arrives, not to complete you, for you are already whole, but to serve as a perfect mirror. And here lies the subtle yet crucial point that most individuals overlook. An authentic connection, one that is divinely timed and cosmically aligned, doesn't merely unveil attraction or superficial beauty. It unveils the truth. A person becomes a profound mirror, not one that flatters your ego, but one that reflects your intricate shadows, your boundless depth, your incandescent light, and your untapped potential. You don't merely perceive them, you perceive yourself through their presence, perhaps for the very first time in your life. This isn't ephemeral infatuation, this is transformative evolution, and it all commences with a gentle whisper. You find yourself pondering their essence, and with an uncanny immediacy your phone vibrates with their text. Not hours later, not the subsequent day, but precisely in that very instant, as if the universe itself had meticulously perused the labyrinth of your thoughts. You unlock your device and there, a missed call from them. Or perhaps you are navigating a particularly challenging day, adrift in the currents of your own reflections, when the very next song broadcast on the radio feels as though it was meticulously composed for you, about them. You pause, a shiver of recognition tracing your skin, goosebumps rising, for it feels as if something, or indeed someone, is trying to communicate directly with your soul, and the echoes do not cease there. You venture into a densely populated locale, a bustling train station, a quiet bookstore, an airport you've never before traversed, and somehow, against all odds, they are there. Your gazes intertwine, and it no longer registers as a mere coincidence. It feels meticulously orchestrated, as if life itself had been patiently awaiting this precise convergence. You begin to discern an undeniable pattern. You encounter their initials in the most improbable of places. You overhear strangers utter their name in passing conversations. You are not actively seeking these signs, yet the signs, with an intelligent volition of their own, are actively seeking you. These are not random anomalies within the intricate fabric of existence. These are profound synchronicities. One of the most potent conceptual gifts Carl Jung bestowed upon the world is his definition of synchronicity as a meaningful coincidence of two or more events, where something beyond the probability of mere chance is undeniably involved. In other words, these events are not causally linked in the traditional sense, yet their interconnectedness is so deeply resonant, so utterly meaningful, that you cannot and should not ignore them. It is akin to the universe gently tapping you on the shoulder, its subtle whisper conveying, "There is profound significance here. Pay attention." And here lies the crux that most individuals fail to grasp. These potent signs are not universally experienced. They manifest for individuals who are actively embarking on the journey of becoming conscious, for those who are meticulously aligning with their authentic truth, for souls who are beginning to awaken to a reality far grander than mere linear logic. Because when your inner world, your core values, your deepest desires, the very essence of your soul, achieves such exquisite alignment, the external world invariably begins to respond in kind. And that response often takes the form of a person, a resonant soul, a transformative mirror, a compelling presence that persistently manifests, not to sow confusion, but to awaken something dormant, something fundamental within you. This transcends mere superstition. It speaks to a profound soul-level intelligence that articulates its wisdom through the eloquent language of symbols, intricate patterns, and impeccable timing. When you are veering off your true course, the universe subtly obstructs paths, but when you are truly aligned, it miraculously clears the way, and sometimes, in its infinite wisdom, it sends someone into your life who defies all logical explanation, someone who makes you feel seen without the need for a single word, someone who feels intimately familiar despite your recent acquaintance, someone who activates a deep, buried, sacred, an ancient part of your being, and you cannot articulate the why, yet you find yourself unable to cease contemplating their presence. You feel drawn, inextricably connected, even profoundly challenged in ways you cannot adequately explain. You might attempt to flee from its intensity. You might succumb to doubt, you might even vehemently deny its truth, but the universe, with its relentless, gentle persistence, continues to whisper back through these moments, through these unmistakable signs, through that unshakable inner knowing that this is not just anyone. This was written. Falling for someone often feels akin to magic, a spell cast upon the heart. But what if I were to suggest that it isn't solely about them? Not merely their captivating smile, not just their compelling presence, not even exclusively the way they make you feel. It is fundamentally about what they awaken within you, deep beneath the surface in the hallowed chambers where ancestral memories reside, where dormant wounds quietly slumber, where the fragmented parts of you that you've meticulously buried are still patiently awaiting their long overdue acknowledgement. Sometimes we don't merely fall for a person, we fall for the vibrant, potent version of ourselves that suddenly springs to life when they step into the room. Carl Jung termed this profound psychological process projection. It stands as one of the most frequently misunderstood, yet undeniably powerful concepts within the vast landscape of psychology. You see, every one of us carries two intricate versions of ourselves: the carefully curated persona we present to the world, and the deeper, often hidden self we conceal, even from our own conscious awareness. This hidden self comprises our shadow aspects, our luminous light, our unaddressed pain, and our inherent brilliance. And when a significant individual enters our life, we unconsciously project the entirety of this internal landscape onto them: the good, the bad, the fragmented, and the divine. This explains the phenomenon of instantaneous attraction to certain individuals, not because they embody perfection, but because they carry a profound essence that your soul has been relentlessly seeking. Something you may have lost, something you may have rigorously suppressed, something you never possessed the raw courage to confront on your own. Perhaps you find yourself admiring their unwavering independence because deep within you have perpetually felt constrained. Perhaps you envy their profound emotional calm because your inner world has been a tempestuous sea for years. Perhaps you instinctively fear their emotional distance because it eerily echoes the painful memory of someone who once abandoned you. They don't merely reflect your overt desires, they brilliantly reflect your unhealed wounds. And within that profound reflection, you perceive far more than a mere face. You witness your intricate life story, you recognize your persistent patterns, you see the fears you never dared to articulate, you perceive the unconditional love you never fully bestowed upon yourself. This is precisely where the journey becomes unsettling, for authentic connections do not flatter your ego, they courageously confront it. They disrupt your carefully constructed comfort zone, they vividly illustrate where your spirit still bleeds. They illuminate precisely where deep healing is desperately needed. And this is precisely why soul-level connections are never effortless. They are undeniably intense, they are often messy, they are raw and unflinching, but their authenticity is beyond question because they bring you face to face with the true you. Not the impeccably polished version, not the carefully curated persona that garners likes on social media, but the raw, unadulterated version that weeps silently in the solitude of night, the version that still keenly grieves the unaddressed past, the version that patiently waits, just waits to be fully acknowledged. Sometimes you encounter someone who feels overwhelmingly like home, yet the deeper truth is that they are not your ultimate dwelling place. They are, in fact, the living mirror, gently yet firmly reminding you to return to your true home within yourself. And here is the truly astonishing part. You don't always end up in a permanent union with that person. But you are always, without exception, transformed by their presence because they irrevocably cracked something open within your being. They served as a potent reminder of the magnificent individual you are capable of becoming, and that profound reflection, once seen, never truly fades. So if someone has ever made you feel more alive, more vulnerable, more deeply seen than ever before, do not merely ask, why did they arrive? Instead ask, what profound truth did they awaken within me? For perhaps, and just perhaps, they arrived not to indefinitely remain, but to introduce you to the deeper, truer essence of you. Herein lies a truth most individuals rarely dare to articulate. When the universe dispatches someone truly aligned with the deepest currents of your soul, the experience will not consistently resemble a fairy tale. It will not always arrive enshrouded in an ethereal peace, a comforting warmth, or a flutter of butterflies. Sometimes it will feel like a consuming fire. At other times it will feel as though every intricately woven aspect of your inner world is irrevocably breaking apart. This unraveling occurs not because they are inherently wrong for you, but precisely because your soul is, at long last, emerging from its slumber, finally waking up. When an individual touches your soul at such a profound, foundational level, they do not merely usher in joy, they bring an unflinching clarity. And clarity, it must be acknowledged, is often a deeply painful experience. For now, with their presence, you can finally perceive what you have assiduously avoided for years. The formidable walls you meticulously constructed around your heart begin to exhibit profound cracks. The deep-seated wounds you buried so thoroughly that you forgot their very existence begin to relentlessly surge to the surface. The intricate coping mechanisms you once mistakenly labeled as strength begin, under the pressure of authentic connection, to fail. Why this dramatic shift? Because true soul-level love does not adhere to the self-protective rules of the ego. It does not manifest merely to provide a sensation of safety and comfort. It manifests to guide you toward wholeness. And to achieve genuine wholeness, you must courageously confront the broken, fragmented parts of your authentic self. You begin to ask questions you have never dared to pose before. Why am I so terrified of abandonment? Why do I instinctively push away the very individuals who genuinely care for me? Why does vulnerability feel like an existential threat? And in this process, you realize you are not merely falling for them, you are, in a deeper sense, falling into the unhealed chambers of your own being. Carl Jung articulated this truth with unparalleled precision. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. In other words, you do not achieve healing by pretending to be perfectly fine. You heal by courageously facing what is, in truth, not fine at all. Sometimes the very person who ignites an intense fervor within your heart is simultaneously the individual who holds up an unyielding mirror to the pain you have resolutely refused to acknowledge. They do not inflict pain intentionally, yet their sheer presence illuminates what still urgently requires healing within your being. Perhaps their emotional distance inadvertently triggers your primal childhood fears of rejection. Perhaps their unwavering strength exposes your deeply hidden insecurities. Perhaps their comfortable silence reactivates old, dormant memories of being ignored, unseen, or utterly forgotten. But this, crucially, does not render them the enemy. It elevates them to the esteemed role of your teacher. In authentic relationships, the focus extends beyond mere love. It encompasses profound growth, because love in its purest form is not merely intended to make you feel good, it is meant to elevate you, to make you better. Every trigger they awaken within you serves as an undeniable invitation to heal, to deeply reflect, to evolve. And that is precisely why pain in this context is not the terminal point of the story. Pain is a profound beginning, the inception of deep, transformative inner work, the genesis of your authentic evolution. You find yourself instinctively returning to journaling. You begin to ask deeper, more penetrating questions of yourself. You start to notice the intricate patterns of your own behavior. You finally begin to learn how to truly love yourself, not because someone externally instructed you to, but because your soul, now awakened, demands it. You cease fleeing from the specters of the past. You absolve yourself of the habit of blaming others. You bravely assume responsibility for your own journey, and in doing so, you blossom in ways you never before imagined possible. This pain, it is not merely anguish, it is sacred. It serves as irrefutable evidence that the connection was profoundly real, because superficial connections do not shake you to your core in this manner. Only soul-level encounters possess such transformative power. And as you courageously undertake this journey of healing, you begin to experience a strange, yet beautiful sense of gratitude. Not because the path was easy, but because it was unequivocally honest, because it irrevocably changed you. This unique type of love becomes your spiritual mentor, and the relationship itself, irrespective of its duration, evolves into your most profound classroom. Not every love story is destined for permanence, but some are meticulously designed to crack you open, to shatter your illusions, so that you may never again live in a state of emotional numbness. So, the next time you experience pain after encountering someone of profound significance, do not curse it. Do not attempt to flee from it. Do not numb its intensity. Instead, honor it. For that pain is not an indication that something has gone awry. It is a profound signal that something has, at long last, gone deeply, meaningfully right. And depth, that is precisely where true, lasting healing invariably commences. Every solitary soul carries within its depths a silent, unseen storm. Not the kind of tempest that obliterates cities and landscapes, but the insidious kind that quietly, relentlessly erodes self-worth. This internal storm is composed of fragmented pieces we desperately attempt to forget. The bitter jealousy we rigorously suppress, the desperate neediness we are profoundly ashamed of, the paralyzing fears we bury so deeply that even we forget their very existence. This is precisely what Carl Jung meticulously termed the shadow, the hidden, often disowned self. Not the meticulously crafted version you present on social media, not the idealized persona your acquaintances readily praise, but the raw, unfiltered version you encounter in the stark silence of introspection. The one that weeps alone in the darkness, the one that instinctively flinches at the prospect of abandonment, the one that succumbs to panic when someone dares to venture too close. And for the predominant duration of our lives, we meticulously keep this formidable shadow firmly locked away. We cunningly conceal it behind layers of forced humor, behind an edifice of manufactured confidence, behind the facade of superficial smiles and meticulously filtered lives, until one day someone walks into your existence, and not just any random individual, a soul connection, a destined presence. They do not merely step into your life, they penetrate the very depths of your unconscious, and suddenly the shadow you so assiduously buried begins to stir. Not to punish you, but to finally, irrevocably be seen. You begin to experience emotions you cannot readily comprehend. You find yourself consumed by jealousy despite having always proclaimed yourself to be emotionally secure. You become profoundly needy, even though you have meticulously constructed your entire identity upon the bedrock of unwavering independence. You are assailed by the overwhelming fear of losing them, even though you once vehemently swore you would never again rely on anyone. And in that maelstrom of confusion, that unsettling emotional chaos, you begin to relentlessly ask, why am I behaving in this manner? What is happening to me? Herein lies the truth of what is unfolding. Your shadow is awakening, and this is not a catastrophic breakdown. It is, in fact, a profound breakthrough. This individual did not instigate the storm. Their potent presence merely revealed its long-standing existence, because their energy is sufficiently powerful to draw your deepest, most authentic truth to the very surface. That is the transformative power of soul-level love. It does not merely celebrate your inherent strengths, it precisely triggers your unhealed wounds. It boldly unveils what you have painstakingly hidden from everyone, including your own conscious self. But here is the pivotal shift in perspective. Every emotional tempest is an unequivocal sign that something has gone awry. Some storms arrive to meticulously clear the air, to gently shake off the accumulated dust of years, to profoundly cleanse your soul of the burdensome weight it should have never, ever carried. And some individuals, they do not enter your life to render you complete. They enter to courageously reveal you, to systematically dismantle your emotional barricades, to irrevocably crack open your protective armor, to subtly whisper, "Look closely, this is truly who you are. This is where it profoundly hurts. This is precisely what you desperately need to heal." Destined love is not predicated on comfort. It is, at its core, about confrontation. Not in a damaging or destructive manner, but in a sacred, soul-evolving way. It declares, "God, here are your intricate patterns. Do you choose to cling to them, or do you desire to grow?" It asks, "Here is your deeply ingrained fear of abandonment. Will you continue to flee, or will you bravely learn to trust?" It challenges, "Here is your persistent need for control. Will you maintain your suffocating grip, or will you surrender to something infinitely deeper?" In that profound choice, genuine growth is born. The shadow, once perceived as your adversary, metamorphoses into your most insightful teacher, and the pain, once meticulously feared, transforms into your clearest mirror. You begin to embrace and even cherish the very parts of yourself you once vehemently detested. You commence holding compassionate space for your own deeply personal fears. You cease perpetually apologizing for being too much, and instead begin the sacred process of healing the root causes of why you ever believed such a notion. This is, in essence, what destined love was always meant to accomplish, not to bestow upon you a perfect partner, but to return you to your utterly whole, complete self. So the next time someone walks into your life and profoundly shakes everything, do not flee. Instead, sit with the discomfort, listen intently to the whispers of your shadow, and realize that this love was not meant to conclude your story. It was meticulously designed to help you courageously rewrite the very first chapter of your authentic self. There arrives a pivotal juncture in your expansive spiritual journey where an undeniable realization dawns upon you. Not every single individual who enters the intricate tapestry of your life is inherently destined to indefinitely remain. Some souls enter your existence with the thunderous intensity of a storm, loud, profoundly powerful, utterly unforgettable. Others arrive with the gentle, soothing grace of soft winds, calm, deeply healing, and subtly transformative. Yet, irrespective of whether they manifest with the force of thunder or with an enveloping silence, they bear one undeniable commonality. They do not arrive to complete you, for you are already whole. They arrive to fundamentally change you. We are, by societal design, conditioned to relentlessly pursue forever. Motion pictures, lyrical ballads, enduring narratives, they all relentlessly worship the idyllic notion of happily ever after. But what if the most profound, soul-stirring individuals you encounter in this lifetime were never intended for permanence? What if their quintessential role was not to endure, but to serve as a catalyst for your awakening? They arrive to touch a specific, sacred part of your being that no one else has ever managed to access, to stir something ancient and primordial within the very core of your soul, to unlock emotions you have never permitted yourself to truly feel, to challenge your deeply held beliefs, to expose your carefully constructed blind spots, to serve as an unyielding mirror to your deepest truth, even the parts you are too terrified to gaze upon, and then for myriad reasons they depart, or life orchestrates an insurmountable distance, or you are, through an act of profound courage, forced to let them go. And your immediate, primal instinct is to feel utterly broken. You question every single aspect of your shared experience. You ponder with aching curiosity. Was it truly real? If it was destined to be, why did it not endure? But genuine, authentic connection does not, by definition, equate to permanence. Carl Jung uttered a timeless truth that resonates with enduring power. The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. That is the indelible legacy of a destined encounter. It fundamentally transforms you. It doesn't always conform to your meticulously crafted timeline. It doesn't always fulfill your cherished expectations. Yet, it imprints indelible fingerprints upon the very essence of your soul, irrevocably, eternally. These individuals do not arrive to fulfill your romantic fantasies. They arrive to incinerate your carefully constructed illusions. They profoundly shake your soul, forcibly extricate you from the autopilot of daily existence, and trigger the profound growth that comfort, by its very nature, could never possibly achieve. Perhaps they taught you the raw, unvarnished truth of what genuine love truly feels like. Perhaps they vividly showed you the fragmented parts of yourself that still desperately require healing. Perhaps they inspired you to courageously pursue a life you were previously too scared to even conceive. Perhaps, just perhaps, their greatest, most transformative gift was the profound, aching pain of their absence, because that pain, in its own unique way, became your most potent teacher. Pain, you see, is not always a form of punishment. Sometimes it is a sacred, invaluable instruction. These soul encounters serve as potent reminders that authentic love is not always about ownership. It is not perpetually about forever. It is, fundamentally, about evolution. You don't always marry the one who ignites and awakens your soul. Sometimes you encounter them precisely to remember who you truly are, to meticulously realign your spirit, to prepare you for the next, more expansive version of your life. A life you could not possibly have constructed without the profound inner shift they so powerfully ignited. And as inherently painful as that realization may sound, it is simultaneously deeply liberating, because you begin to grasp that the act of letting go does not signify failure. It signifies that the sacred contract of the soul was meticulously fulfilled. That is the profound distinction between clinging attachment and enlightened awareness. Attachment relentlessly begs, why can't we revert to what was? Awareness, with its serene wisdom, softly whispers, you have gracefully outgrown that chapter, and it is now time to bravely move forward. So no, not every destined encounter is immutable, but they are, without exception, never wasted. They are intricately woven into the very fabric of your soul, indelibly etched into your profound evolution, meticulously carved into your memory, not as a source of regret, but as sacred, enduring reminders of how far you have courageously journeyed. One day, you will reflect upon these experiences not with residual pain, but with an encompassing peace, not with lingering longing, but with an abiding gratitude, because you will profoundly realize they did not arrive to perpetually remain. They arrived to set something in motion, to ignite a dormant process. They arrived to awaken the next, more authentic version of you. And in that profound awakening, you discovered the most powerful, transformative love of all, the unconditional love you bestow upon yourself when no one else is around. The love that no longer relentlessly chases, desperately begs, or anxiously clings, but rather trusts implicitly, surrenders gracefully, and perpetually evolves. And that, unequivocally, is the true, ultimate purpose of destined love. There exists a timeless spiritual law that steadfastly refuses to bend to your meticulously crafted timelines. It does not yield to your fleeting moments of loneliness. It does not answer your anguished midnight prayers born of pity. Instead, it patiently awaits until you are truly ready, not when you are desperate, not when you are incessantly begging, not when you are frantically clinging to someone to superficially fill your perceived emptiness. Because the universe does not dispatch your perfect mirror when you are still drowning in the treacherous waters of illusion. It sends your lesson. And here lies the stark yet ultimately liberating truth. If you are still adrift in the turbulent seas of self-doubt, still relentlessly chasing external validation, still desperately craving love as an escape from your own unflinching reflection, you will invariably attract not a true soulmate, but a vivid mirror of your own internal chaos. Not a genuinely divine connection, but a profound test cleverly disguised as romance. Because life, in its infinite wisdom, does not respond to your articulated words. It responds with unerring accuracy to your prevailing energy. Desperation, by its very nature, attracts confusion. A pervasive sense of lack invariably attracts more lack, and profound fear attracts repetitive cycles that persist until you finally, emphatically, declare, "Enough. I am resolute in my desire to heal." This is precisely why individuals periodically enter your life and seemingly shatter your heart. Not because the universe harbors a cruel intent, but because your soul, in its deep wisdom, made a silent internal request: teach me what I have not yet learned. So, when you are still operating from a place of unaddressed pain, from a tendency towards avoidance, from a pervasive undercurrent of fear, the individuals who manifest will invariably reflect that internal state. They will exhibit inconsistency because you have not yet discovered your own innate stability. They will be emotionally unavailable because you are still navigating your own profound emotional wounds. They will sow confusion because your inner world remains clouded by pervasive doubt and incessant noise. But then an imperceptible shift occurs. One day, after navigating all the heartbreaks, enduring all the sleepless nights, confronting all the painful self-betrayals, you instinctively cease chasing love. You cease begging for someone to truly see you. You stop performing for the sake of connection, and instead, you courageously turn inward. You choose to sit in profound silence. You bravely face your unhealed wounds, and you embark upon the slow, sacred process of becoming entirely whole, without the external presence of anyone else. You cease asking, "When will I finally meet the one?" and begin asking, with earnest sincerity, "What parts of me have I been relentlessly running from?" You cease fearing the solitude of being alone and instead begin to fall profoundly in love with your own innate peace. That is the precise moment when the universe responds, not with clamorous noise, not with dazzling fireworks, but with an impeccable, quiet alignment. It is not loud, it is not chaotic, it is not a fleeting dopamine rush enshrouded in warning signs. It is subtle, It is quiet. It is undeniably clear, like the soft, resonant vibration of a piano string finally achieving perfect harmony with another. Like two ancient souls after countless lifetimes apart, humming the very same timeless song. You will not feel the compulsive need to pursue it. You will not overthink its significance. You will not question your inherent worth in their presence, because they will not arrive to complete you. They will arrive to walk authentically beside the version of you that already deeply knows, I am whole, I am ready, I am no longer afraid of my own profound reflection. This is the true, unadulterated sensation of genuine love, not an all-consuming addiction, not a relentless obsession, not a chaotic upheaval, but a profound, resonant harmony. From that transformative moment forward, your life will be irrevocably altered, not because someone externally saved you, but because you, at long last, saved yourself. The universe simply responded to the undeniable call of your healing, because that is the fundamental, unwavering principle of its operation. You do not always receive precisely what you want. You invariably receive what you are profoundly aligned with. So courageously heal, bravely grow, gracefully let go of the distracting noise, and become the radiant version of yourself that no longer begs for love, but effortlessly attracts it, simply by authentically existing. The next time you encounter someone, and an inexplicable shift occurs within your being, when your breath instinctively catches, when the world appears to slow for a single, timeless second, when you feel something unexplainable stir within your chest, pause. Do not rush to define it. Do not attempt to force it into a confining label. Simply feel it. For not every spark is inherently romantic, and not every connection is destined for eternity, but every single soul you encounter carries with it an undeniable, profound meaning. Sometimes they arrive to unveil your inherent strength. Sometimes they arrive to gently awaken your dormant weaknesses. Sometimes they arrive to serve as a poignant reminder of your intrinsic worth. And sometimes they manifest to courageously teach you how to gracefully walk away from what no longer serves your highest good. So, ask yourself not merely, who is this person to me? But rather, with profound introspection, what profound truth are they revealing about me? Is it unadulterated joy? Is it a primal fear? Is it an encompassing peace? Is it an ancient wound resurfacing, desperately begging for closure? Because people are not random, they are meticulously selected messengers from the universe, from your higher self, from the very version of you that already deeply understands what you truly need. The universe does not send you who you desire in moments of pervasive loneliness. It sends you who your soul profoundly needs in moments of genuine readiness. Some arrive to shake you to your core. Some arrive to tenderly heal you. Some arrive to shatter the intricate illusions you meticulously constructed around your heart. But all of them, unequivocally, all of them arrive to guide you one precise step closer to your authentic truth. So, the next time someone walks into your life and profoundly stirs your soul, do not merely react, instead observe. Listen intently, because the universe communicates through energy, and it is not shouting, it is intimately whispering. And those whispers, they only begin to truly make sense to the version of you that is, at long last, profoundly ready to hear. Tell me something truly authentic. Has the universe ever dispatched someone into your life, someone you were completely not expecting, someone who did not remain forever, yet irrevocably changed everything within you? Perhaps they entered your world during a tempestuous storm. Perhaps they departed before you were fully prepared, but something intrinsic about them, their compelling presence, their impeccable timing, their undeniable truth, left indelible fingerprints upon your soul that still to this very day have not faded. If a specific individual has just sprung to mind, I invite you to share your story in the comments below, no matter how grand or how subtle its scope. I personally read every single one because this channel transcends mere messages. It is fundamentally about connection, your unique connection, our shared collective human experience. And if this message resonated deeply within you, if it compelled you to pause, if it sparked a powerful remembrance, or if it simply made you feel a little more genuinely seen, then do not permit its profound energy to dissipate here. Gently press that like button, subscribe to our growing community, and share this message with someone who genuinely believes in more than just random occurrences, someone who intrinsically understands that when the universe speaks, it does not shout, it whispers through impeccable timing, through undeniable feelings, and through the profound, transformative presence of people. And today, perhaps it whispered through you.